You believe you know yourself. You know your name, your habits, the roles you play, the story you offer when someone asks who you are. That story feels familiar, even comforting. But if you are honest, there is a quiet tension beneath it, a sense that something essential is being postponed, as if your life is moving forward, yet you are slightly absent from it. This is not confusion, it is recognition. You are far more driven by forces you did not consciously choose than you would like to admit. Much of what shapes your decisions comes from inherited expectations, unconscious fears, and borrowed ambitions. You learned early which parts of you were acceptable and which were not. Over time, you refined a persona that fits the world well enough to be rewarded. It works. It keeps things stable, but it rarely brings fulfillment. Friedrich Nietzsche observed that human beings can endure extraordinary suffering when they understand its meaning. Without meaning, even comfort becomes unbearable. Life does not collapse all at once. It hollows slowly. Days blur together. Motivation feels forced. You stay busy, yet feel strangely stagnant, as if you are maintaining a life rather than inhabiting it. This is where discomfort quietly enters, not as pain, but as dullness, a background fatigue that no amount of rest seems to cure. You may call it burnout, boredom, or lack of motivation, but beneath those labels is something more precise: misalignment. The life you are living no longer reflects the person you are becoming. Most people never stop to examine this. They mistake movement for progress and distraction for fulfillment. They chase what is rewarded externally because it offers clarity and approval. Over time, their identity fuses with these pursuits. They become efficient, respectable, productive. But beneath that surface, the shadow begins to stir. The parts of you that crave depth, autonomy, and authenticity do not disappear when ignored. They express themselves indirectly through restlessness, resentment, or quiet dissatisfaction. In Nietzsche's view of human nature, the greatest danger is not suffering, but meaninglessness. Suffering can be integrated. It can shape you. But meaninglessness corrodes from the inside. When you do not know why you are doing what you are doing, every obstacle feels personal, every demand feels invasive, and every setback feels humiliating. Life becomes something that happens to you rather than something you are consciously shaping. This is why the question is not what you want, but why you want anything at all. Purpose is not a slogan or a neatly defined mission. It is a felt sense of direction, a subtle alignment between your values, your effort, and your becoming. It is the difference between effort that drains you and effort that strengthens you. Notice how differently you experience struggle when it feels chosen rather than imposed. The same discipline, the same sacrifice, the same discomfort can feel either crushing or meaningful, depending on whether it serves something you believe in. When your actions are connected to your why, effort becomes devotion. Without it, even rest feels empty. Nietzsche teaches us that human beings are not static identities, but evolving forces. What gave your life meaning in one season may feel hollow in another. Clinging to outdated goals is often a way of avoiding the discomfort of growth. Individuation requires honesty, and honesty requires the courage to admit when an old identity no longer fits. This is where many people become trapped. They confuse consistency with authenticity. They continue pursuing what once brought them meaning because it is familiar, even when their inner life has changed. The unconscious resists this stagnation. It speaks through anxiety, irritability, and a persistent sense that you are capable of more, or perhaps something different. Ignoring that voice does not silence it. It deepens the conflict. Your sense of purpose is often hidden in moments that move you without explanation. Not excitement, but resonance. The work that absorbs you, the conversations that energize you, the struggles you would willingly endure because they feel worthwhile. These are not accidents. They are signals from the deeper self, pointing toward alignment rather than appearance. Purpose also reshapes your relationship with failure. When you live without a why, failure feels like exposure. It threatens the persona you rely on for validation. But when you are anchored in meaning, failure becomes information. It refines rather than defines you. You stop asking what this says about your worth and start asking what it teaches you about your direction. Nietzsche understood that the people who endure the most are not the most optimistic, but the most oriented. They know why they are here, even if the how remains unclear. That orientation gives suffering a place. It turns hardship into a passage rather than a punishment. But discovering your why does not happen in noise. It requires stillness. Silence has become uncomfortable because it removes the distractions that keep you from hearing yourself. Yet it is in quiet moments that unconscious patterns rise to the surface. You begin to notice what you avoid, what you crave, what you repeatedly return to. These patterns are not flaws, they are messages. Ask yourself, not as an exercise, but as an inquiry, what kind of struggle feels meaningful to you? What kind of effort you would choose even if no one noticed? Who you are becoming through the life you are currently living. Do not rush the answers. Purpose unfolds through attention. When you begin to sense your why, even vaguely, something shifts. You stop drifting. You stop imitating. You begin relating to life as a participant rather than a spectator. Survival gives way to intention, and intention quietly changes everything. If something in this made you pause, don't scroll past it. Write it down here. What pattern did you recognize in yourself? What questions surfaced that you've been avoiding? You don't need a perfect answer, just honesty. Reflection begins when thoughts are given a place to land. And if you want more spaces like this, quiet, intentional, and grounded in psychology, subscribe. Not to be entertained, but to pay attention.